Hi there, how's it going? I'm John Paul and I run the blog paymentor.com. In this video we will talk about direct and indirect participants to clearing system. We will consider the definitions of the European Central Bank. They are quite interesting and put the key points into words very well. For the indirect participants, we will see that there are two main models to access clearing systems. The first model is the most common one, and frankly, it's the only one I knew until recently. The second model is being offered now by many clearing systems for instant payments, and we will see why. So, let's begin with the definition of a direct participant. What is a direct participant? A direct participant is a participant in a transfer system that can perform all activities allowed in the system without using an intermediary, and particularly the direct inputting of orders in the system and the performance of settlement operations. Two phrases are underlined here. First, perform all activities. There is a set of activities allowed in the system, and the direct participant can carry all of them out. Second, without using an intermediary. The direct participant does not need any intermediary. It does not rely on another party to perform the activities. And particularly, a direct participant can send orders directly to the clearing system and settle the related transactions. Here we see a picture depicting how a direct participant accesses the CSM, the systems performing clearing and settlement. In reality, the direct participant has a direct connection to the clearing system and a direct connection to the settlement system as well. As a consequence, a direct participant sends and receives transactions directly to and from the clearing system. And it also performs the settlement of transactions after the multilateral clearing in the central bank systems, as we saw in a previous video. Direct participants are in general major and international banks with very high volumes of transactions. Now let's move to indirect participants. We will first consider the definitions provided by the European Central Bank. An indirect participant is a participant in a funds or securities transfer system with a tiering arrangement that uses a direct participant as an intermediary in order to perform some of the activities allowed in the system, particularly settlement. A tiering arrangement is simply the agreement between the direct participant and the indirect participant for the clearing and or the settlement of the transactions. An indirect participant does not carry out all the activities allowed in the system. The direct participant performs some of the activities on its behalf. Which activities can be carried out by a direct participant on behalf on an indirect participant? We will now consider the two models that indirect participants use to access clearing systems and see which activities are carried out by the direct participants on their behalf. This is the model where the indirect participant does not have direct access to the clearing system. It accesses the clearing system through the direct participant. The indirect participant sends and receives transactions through the direct participant in the clearing system. And as you can see on the picture, it has no link to the CSM. The direct participant is its intermediary and acts on its behalf. Also, the direct participant performs the settlement of transactions after clearing in the central bank systems on behalf of the indirect participant. As I said in the outset of this presentation, this is really the most common model in practice. Indirect participants rely on direct participants for the clearing and settlements of transactions so for all the activities. Let's move to the next model and see what's the difference. In this model, the indirect participant is directly connected to the clearing system for the exchange of transactions. So the transactions flow from the clearing system directly to the indirect participant. They do not go through the direct participant. And we see the interest of this model, particularly for SEPA instant payments that will be processed end-to-end in 10 seconds. Since the transactions do not have to go through the direct participant, precious seconds can be gained, and that can be crucial to keep the already tight service level agreements in instant payments. Currently, this model is offered by almost all systems offering services for the clearing of instant payments. EBA RT1, eQuins Worldline, Core of Stat, Target to Instant Payment Services, and so on. The indirect participants accessing the clearing system directly needs the direct participant for the settlement of the transactions. This is illustrated by the link between the direct participants and the central bank systems where settlement happens. So this means that the direct participant must be able to follow the position of its indirect participants so that it is able to provide the liquidity needed to settle those transactions. Indirect participants and direct participants must therefore exchange information to coordinate and make that possible. This is why you see a link between indirect participant and direct participant in the picture as well. On this slide, we see the combination of both models. We have direct participants with link to indirect participants that are exchanging and settling transactions through the direct participant, and indirect participants that are directly connected to the clearing system and that are settling their transactions through the direct participant. This is a picture that you find in the brochure of STAT about instant payments. You see that both models are available there as well. It is just presented in a slightly different way. That's the end of this presentation about direct and indirect participants. If you have any question, you can post a comment below the video. If you found this presentation useful and interesting, you can like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can also go to prementor.com and subscribe to the newsletter to receive regular updates about articles and video. See you soon on the channel.